Instead of tea time today, we're going to do an introduction to our class on clutter. Yeah, it's clutter is just a horrible thing, and we're going to take the month of September. It's a new season coming up, and we probably should do this 4 times a year every time the seasons change because we need to change our clothes out. We need to do lots of things to get ready for a new time. It's back to school right now, but in January it'll be starting a brand new year. There's other layers of clutter we have to get rid of. So we'll think about doing this, but for right now, we're going to address clutter in every room in our home, in our cars, in our basements, in our garages. And the worst clutter of all is the clutter that's right here. And I wrote a book on it called Body Clutter. And it wasn't just the clutter that's on your butt, it was the clutter that's in your head that puts the clutter in your house, in your car, in your garage, in your yard. I mean, have you seen cluttered yards? I have. I live in the South. But cluttered yards are everywhere. So we're going to deal with all of the clutter in our lives. It's a mindset that we hold on to things. And this is just going to be an intro to your first day of class of clutter. And most of it, those of you who've been with me for a while have heard these things before. But those of you who are new or who have, let's just say, held on to their clutter because they were raised by people who were raised that went through the Great Depression. I live in the mountains of Western North Carolina. It's considered Appalachia. I look out on the Blue Ridge Mountains. During the Great Depression, the people in the mountains uh, in Appalachia didn't even know there was a problem because they had always lived frugally. They didn't have a lot of stuff. They had what they could make, what they could build. They had just enough. They got by with what they could grow and what they could put away, what they could dry. They they got by. They raised a pig, they raised a cow, they had chickens. They got by. So when the Great Depression hit, when the crash hit in 29 and then fast forward 5 years, they didn't even know because we didn't have the internet. We had radio. People listened to their radio. But people who went through the Great Depression, who suffered job loss and 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 probably close to the starvation, famine, that sort of thing. They didn't have money to buy things. There were bread lines in cities. They got this mentality that has stayed with us. My mother-in-law, she was a precious woman, but was raised, she went through the Great Depression. She actually watched trees in the mountains, chestnut trees, and chestnuts were a huge um, way of making money for people in the mountains. She watched them die. sitting on a porch at her grandmother's house. She could see the trees dying going up the mountain. And but when Ella passed away, or when we closed out her house and she went into assisted living, she had a ball of rubber bands that came off of her newspapers every day. And she got the newspaper because she liked to work the crossword puzzle. And she saved things. She saved the little plastic clips that went on the bread. She saved the wire ties that went on other things. She saved things. She held on to things. And finally, those balls of rubber bands weren't fitting for anything. You know, we're raised by people who were raised who just wanted to save things just in case. You might need it one day. My granny was saving like that. She saved bread bags. You know what she'd do with those bread bags? She would make ice. She'd put water in them and freeze them. And she would use those bread bags to put up her corn into little pint boxes. She would use that ice to cool down her corn. They saved everything. They saved everything. And that attitude, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying it comes to a point where we have to stop the hoarding. Hoarding is a sin. You know, I can't get this song out of my mind that I've been hearing. The enemy thought he had me, but Jesus said, "You are mine." Well, the enemy is wanting us to destroy our homes with clutter, with hoarding, with holding on to things and having too much stuff. You know, when you look at old houses, they hardly had any closets. They might have had a little closet that went under a stairwell. They probably had a chifforobe that we call uh, a place to put their clothes. They didn't have walk-in closets and stuff like that. They didn't have that much stuff. They probably had a Sunday outfit and just enough clothes to get them through to the wash day. So holding on to things because we might need it one day. As Pinball says, you know, you have one and you have a backup and you have a backup to the backup. So having three of one item, like I have more than three pairs of scissors. I have scissors in the kitchen that are used for kitchen stuff. I have scissors by my chair that are used for cutting up stuff. Robert has a pair of scissors that he likes. You know, I have fabric cutting scissors right here in this drawer. I have scissors. I have backups to scissors. I don't need to buy any more scissors. But we hold on to things because we were raised by people who were raised by people who lived through the Great Depression. And soon it'll be 100 years from the Great Depression. It's 2023 right now. The Great Depression started in 2029. I mean, in 1929. I think I'm right on that. I'd have to ask my living encyclopedia that sits in a chair right next to me. Y'all, we don't have to save everything. You need what you use. You use what you have. But if you're going to stick it in a closet somewhere, in a drawer somewhere, and never look at it again, never use it again, it needs to find a new home. We used to sing a song, "Please Release Me, Let Me Go." And you sing it from the stuff's point of view. We have so much stuff. When Robert and I got married, he had a house full of clutter. He had a basement full of clutter. I had a house full of clutter. And I had started over just a few years before that with nothing but the clothes on my back, some camping gear, and some fishing gear. Winter clothes. I had winter clothes. And I still went to yard sales and bought more. When we got married, we went to estate auctions and bought more. We thought if we're buying it inexpensively, then it's okay. But guess what? It piles up. One time we bought 8 pallet lots of stuff at an auction. Now, Robert went to auctions. One of his jobs as a judge was equitable distribution in times of divorce. So he had to know the value of the inventory of people's homes. He found out right quick that TVs had no value, none. And all these little Hummel figurines and stuff that these women had bought and put in these curio cabinets, they had no value. So we went to estate auctions to get an idea of what things were worth. And we did buy one pallet lot one time that I think we paid $35 for it, and it probably had $2,000 worth of tools on it. And it made Robert very happy because he got to upgrade his tools. But he keep them all? No. He put together little packages of tools for people who needed tools. He upgraded his tools and shared the tools with other people. When we remodeled our home in 2000, we ordered a dumpster, mainly for the debris of the stuff we were pulling out of the house because we were taking in a side porch and making our kitchen. And we ordered this dumpster. Cabinets went in it, just all kinds of stuff went in this dumpster. And Robert started decluttering the basement. Now, I had already been decluttering starting the first of the year. I started the first of the year in 1999. I had started to declutter. And I decluttered my stuff. I didn't touch his stuff except for a blue cookbook that I didn't know had sentimental value and actual cooking value until I had put it in the truck to take it to the the gifts, well, the charity, the Humane Society. And he said, "Where's my cookie cookbook?" And I said, "What's a cookie cookbook, you know?" And he said, because I'd only ever used the backs of the package of the chocolate chip cookies. And he said, "My blue cookbook." And I said, "Oh, it's in a box in the truck. Let me go get it." And I looked, I had him look at the other books that I'd put in there. And he said, "Those are all good to give away, but I need the blue one." And he still uses it. So, folks, why are you holding on to stuff? There's lots of reasons we hold on to things because we might need it one day. I have a cast iron wash kettle in the basement. I do. It was a dear friend of mine, and she gave it to me. It was her mama's. And she had flowers in it in her front yard, but she never drilled a hole in it because she knew that it could be a wash kettle for washing clothes. You put it over a fire, boil some water, and wash your clothes in it. I've held on to that. Mainly because Mama Louise gave it to me and I was going to keep it. We have to be careful with what we hold on to. Yeah, Justin will probably have to get rid of it one day, but it's sitting in the corner in my garage and it has a home. Now, I might get rid of some Christmas trees this year, but clutter has a way of setting up shop in our homes. I used to have an anvil. I still wish I had that anvil because sometimes you need an anvil, but Robert and I couldn't pick it up. A friend of ours, his son, picked it up and brought it to us when we bought it at an auction. We got a little forge, but we gave those away because they weren't going to be something it wasn't something we were going to do. We thought about it. I used to have a loom in here. Bought a loom at an auction. You know, my sister-in-law loves it. I eventually gave it to her because she likes to weave. I thought I would like to weave, but setting it all up was just too hard. She's made rugs and all kinds of things. She does art projects with it. I'm not going to do art projects. I bless someone else with my abundance. One time I was gonna make quilts. That was, before FlyLady started, I was gonna make quilts. I used to judge quilts with my home ec teacher. And I love quilts. I love the idea of making quilts. Am I gonna make quilts? Not unless I have to. I liked designing them for the art part of it, but I didn't like sewing them. I didn't like sitting in a sewing machine over and over and over and over, making the same stitches. I didn't like that. But I liked designing them, and I put together the blocks for 2 king size quilts. But guess what? They got a new home. They became quilts for foster children up in Michigan. 2 ladies from Michigan came down here and got the quilt pieces that I had put together in blocks. It got a new meaning for me. Yeah. When you walk in your house, I want everything in your home to put a smile on your face. Yeah, you heard me right. If you've got a set of dishes that makes you feel bad, bless somebody else with them. If you've got a mug that brings back a bad memory, bless somebody else with it. And then it gets a new meaning. It gets the meaning of the blessing that you gave to somebody else. If you've got stuff you don't know what to do with, I guarantee you, if you put a free sign on it and put it down by the end of your driveway, somebody's going to take it. And you're going to be blessed. If things don't make you smile, they need to go away. If you look at something and it gives you a bad memory, it needs to go away. Everything in your home should bring a good memory to your mind. You're not just holding on to it because you might need it one day, or you're not just holding on to it because it was your great grandmother's. I don't think I have anything from my great grandmother except a picture of her that comes up on my computer every day. And I see my sweet grandmother, great grandmother, Granny Pickard. I see her, but I have memories of going with her to get the chickens, get the eggs from the chickens, and being chased by a rooster, and reaching into a nest and there was a snake, and Uncle Billy had to come and get that chicken snake because it ate one of their golf balls that were nesting eggs for the chickens. So y'all, clutter has a way of taking over your home to where it's not an efficient place to live. And when you have so much stuff, you're moving stuff from here to there. So I came up with this phrase. You can't organize clutter. You have to get rid of it. Because when you're just moving it from one place to the other, you're not making any room. You're not making any more area available for storage. You're just, as my granny would say, messing and gumming. You're messing with it. Get it out of your home so that you can live, so that you have a place to put the things that you need. Stop playing with your clutter. It is a ungrateful house guest is what it really is. It comes in and it becomes it takes up residence in your home, never to leave again. But you have to evict it. You have to evict it. I've seen people who have had squatters in their homes or in their parents' homes after their parents went into assisted living, and I've seen those people how they get rid of the squatters out of their house. They literally take the stuff and put it out on the curb. Put it out on the curb. They tell them what they're going to do. They give them a deadline and they do it. Well, we are giving our clutter that eviction notice today. And I want you to say it out loud. Clutter, you no longer have a place to live in our home. You are going away, even if I have to put you out on the curb to do it. Y'all, we can do this. We can get rid of this clutter. I've had testimonies from people who who said, we wanted to buy a new house, but when we started thinking about it, they lived in an 800 square foot house with with 5 kids. You're thinking 800 square feet? I don't know how that's going to work. Well, when they got rid of their clutter and clutter was lying down the hallway wall, clutter becomes a detriment to you when you have so much clutter piled up. And I'm a piler. This room I'm in right now, many of you know, was piled to the ceiling when we started remodeling. And I started getting rid of stuff because they needed to get in here and put down new floors. We got it done, y'all. We got rid of our clutter. That those people with the 800 square foot house, once they got their home decluttered, they didn't need to move anymore because they had a precious little home that was easy to keep clean because they weren't messing with the clutter all the time. You've got clothes stashed away for children that haven't even been conceived yet. Yeah, you heard me. Bless someone else with those baby clothes. Bless someone else. We're addicted to things. I remember helping, sometimes you need a friend to come and help you. And my assistant, many years ago, her sons were coming to visit, and she had a 2-bedroom little apartment. And her second bedroom was just like this one was. It was piled to the ceiling with stuff. And she said, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to put things. I don't have a clue. And I said, okay, let me come over. We weren't even doing YouTube videos then. It would have been a great video. But I looked at what was stored in that room. And it was bed linens, clothing, laundry baskets, um, lots of paper clutter. And I said, why aren't these things in your hall closet? She said, well, there's no room in there. And I opened up the hall closet to be right in my face, 5 shelves of hair products. 5 shelves of conditioner and stuff to make your hair look fuller, and you name it, it was in there. And I said, 5 shelves of hair products. What are you going to do? And she said, well, I paid good money for it. And I said, well, how much did you pay for this bottle of stuff? It was about a quart. She said, $40. No wonder she never had any money. She was buying this hair product stuff. So what we decided to do, she brought in a big garbage can, a 50-gallon garbage can. It wasn't dirty. It was clean. And I would hold it up and I said, did this work? And she said, no, it didn't do what it said it would do. And we had a friend that was a hairstylist, and she did people's hair at the nursing home. So we would take the stuff that was practically been used one time and put it in this big old bin, and then she bagged it up and took it to her. She blessed someone else with all of these hair products that could bless an elderly person and make them feel good. So the stuff that was taking up the room in her closet became a blessing to somebody else. And I was able to put the blankets and the extra pillows and the sheets and the towels and everything in their proper place. And at the bottom was a laundry basket. Don't let that enemy take over your home. Don't do it. Find out what works for you and stick with it. And I have since 2009. I found the smell of something I absolutely loved. It was an Aveda rosemary mint shampoo. And it was amazing. And I buy 32 ounces, a liter of it at a time. And I have one bottle. It's down to about this much. It should get me through the end of October. And I have another bottle in reserve. And when I open up that other bottle, I'll order me a bottle. And it's about $50 for a bottle. And that's $1 a week. And I'm not trying all different. I've got the conditioner too, but I rarely use it. And I have the body wash, which I use all the time. So I love that brand and I stick with it. So I'm not having to buy a lot of different kinds. So don't allow your need for fuller hair to take over your storage spaces. Let it go. Let it bless someone else. You can take them to shelters for women. They leave their homes in abusive situations and have nothing. As for the clothes in your closet, they can bless someone else too. So we're going to deal with this clutter, the clutter that's here, the clutter that's in our closets, the clutter that's on all the surfaces in our home. We're going to deal with it. And we're going to do it per zones, and we're going to do it where you can handle it. Today we're in zone 1. And next week we're going to be in zone 2. But for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I want you thinking about the front porch. What's on your front porch that needs to go away? I've got 2 rocking chairs out there that have just pretty much, I'm scared to sit in them because they have just deteriorated. On the back porch, I got my red rocking chairs. I like my red rocking chairs. They're made out of polywood. They're not disintegrating. So, folks, commit to decluttering. Commit to evicting that clutter. Think of it as a squatter, and we're going to get it out of our houses. So our houses can become homes instead of a place to just, your house is better than a storage unit. And that's another place we need to declutter, but we're going to focus on our homes right now. I love you all so much. Y'all be good, kind, and sweet. And if you've been feeling bad today, I noticed one person put across that she's not feeling well because of allergies. Rebuke those allergies. Rebuke them in the name of Jesus and get them out of the way. Rebuke the clutter. Rebuke that demon, that evil spirit that wants you to buy more stuff. And let's go shopping in our own houses. You know what stuff stands for, don't you? Something that undermines family fun. You can't have fun in a house full of clutter. Okay, folks, be good, kind, and sweet. Be good to yourself by letting go of this clutter. Be kind to others by blessing them with your abundance. And let that joy and sweetness that comes from God, that's in your heart, we're going to make a temple that is for Him. For Him. Our homes are going to make us smile. They're going to make God smile. You can do this, y'all. I love you all so much. I want you to have the peace that I have. And it came, if it came from getting rid of the clutter a little at a time, and it works. It works. If somebody came in and totally decluttered your whole house in 3 days, you would feel that you had been abused. But you know what? You probably never would miss anything they took. So y'all share this video with your friends. Tell them we're going to declutter things and we're going to get stuff done. It's going to be fun. I'm getting ready to do a short on YouTube so that we can get more people to be involved in this declutter revolution we're doing. We got to get it out of our house so that we can live. I love you all. See you later. Bye. Take a deep breath. Say your goodbyes. Samantha's doing great.